Hi, I'm Opal Mitchell. I work for the Central Arkansas Library System and I work at the Nixon branch in Jacksonville. And this is the Crafting with Opal program that we do every other Thursday at 4. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a fall tree paint-along type thing that we're doing. I got the idea from actually a photo I found of a painting online. The one I found online looked like this, and there was no tutorial to go with it, so I ended up making one that looks like this. So this is what I'm going to show you how to paint today. If you signed up for supplies for this program, you will have received a canvas, paint, and a round template for the moon. That way, I'm not really good with circles, drawing circles, so I actually used a Cool It bowl lid for mine. So I made a template for you guys to use for that. I think, what else did I provide? And if you needed brushes, I provided brushes, but I don't think anyone needed any. Yeah, so that was everything that I provided. If you wanted to follow along yourself and you didn't get supplies from us, the paint colors you will need are like a medium yellow color, kind of a medium to dark red color, and just a regular orange, kind of a bright orange, but not a dark orange, but more of, I don't know if you call it pumpkin orange, but a brighter orange. And then just a basic black and a basic white paint. And your paint brushes, it's going to not really matter a whole lot. If you have a larger brush like this, that's great. If you don't, the largest size flat brush you have, like something like this, would be fine too. That's just for painting the background. Also that will be handy to have is a medium round brush. This one is a larger round brush and this is more of a medium. You could probably use the larger one if you have it, but you'll also need a slightly smaller round brush later to do more finer details. This would be okay on the main part of the tree probably, but you're going to need a little bit skinnier one to do some of the limbs. So if you even have a smaller one like this, it'll take a little bit longer to paint it, but if you have a smaller one like this, that would be great. And then a small detail brush is handy also for signing your signature at the end, but if you also wanted to have trouble with smaller limbs, then that might work for you too. And then a small flat brush would be handy too. If you didn't have some of the other ones, that might be good with painting the main part of the trunk. And then also you could either use this one or even a larger round brush to do the leaves for it. You can use different brushes for the leaves, or if you want to use Q-tips, Q-tips would work too. After I did it, the way that I did it, it's more of a dashing type motion for the leaves, but a round type shape would probably work too. I've seen some fall trees done with Q-tips. You wouldn't end up with the exact same look of this because you can see these are almost kind of teardrop shaped. You wouldn't get that with a Q-tip, but it would still be cute, I think, if you wanted to do it that way. Also, other supplies you're going to need is probably at least a couple of cups of clean water, a paper plate to mix your paints on. If you have some palette knives to mix your paint with, that would be good, but if you don't, you can use your paintbrush. Some paper towels and newspaper to put down to keep your surface from getting dirty, and a pencil. I have one of these mechanical pencil. It doesn't matter, any kind of pencil you've got. That will be for drawing the shape of the moon. And let's see, and a blow dryer would be handy if you wanted to dry it a little bit faster so you can continue on without having to wait on it to dry. Not totally necessary, but would be helpful. And then I always put apron down as a thing that's good to keep your clothes from getting paint on it, which I've done that before. So those are the only other things that you might need that wasn't provided. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera around to the surface so I can get started showing you how to do the paint along here. Alright, so I'm going to have to tilt the camera. Alright, so this is the template that I gave everyone. You'll have to cut that out, of course, ahead of time. I'm going to use my trusty Cool Whip bowl to draw my, let's see, I'm trying to tighten this up so it won't fall forward, to draw my moon instead of the template so I won't have to cut it out. And I'm probably going to have to tilt this just a little bit more. Let's see. And I may even have to move this up a little bit. So let's see. And let's see if I can move that back. Getting this adjusted ahead of time is always kind of difficult. Especially once I'm on camera initially. Let's see, make sure this is not going to fall forward. That's the problem I have a lot of times when I do these videos is the camera or the whole stand kind of goes forward. Okay, and now it's having trouble focusing. So maybe a little bit further away will be better. Okay. I just wanted to get the whole thing in focus. I might get closer later on. But just to start out with, we can go ahead and draw our moon. And I did mine about an inch or so from the top of the canvas. Let's see. And I didn't really think a whole lot. Let's see, how far over did I come? Let's see, right about there. So I'm going to put it right about there for where I'm going to be putting it. It's mostly going to be on here except for just a small portion of it. So you'll just take your pencil and draw the outline. And this is just a general guideline of where you're going to be having your moon. We're going to need to cover that up quite a bit with the paint too because it will show through if you don't. I'm going to go ahead and prepare my paint. I accidentally filled up a thing of yellow paint in an extra one of these, and so I'm just going to get it out of here and put it on my palette. Alright. I knew that if I left it in there for the next painting we did, it would probably be dry by the time we do another one. So I'm going to go ahead and get my colors ready. We're going to need some of each of these. Not right away, but I'm just going to go ahead and put some down. Put it a little more down. You're going to be doing a lot of mixing, so give enough room for each one to do your mixing. You probably, we won't be using a lot of black, but I always have a hard time judging how much to put down. There's like dried up paint that's kind of clogging that one. But we will use a lot more white because we're going to be mixing that with a lot of... Oh, I hate it when it does that. It just got paint on my arm. Luckily, see, that's another good reason to wear an apron, because if I had not been wearing one, I would have ended up with white paint on my shirt and pants. I may have got it on the underside of my short sleeve here, but let's hope not. That's the bad thing about golly, I got it on my arm. Whenever you get low on paint, when it's at the very end, I'm going to try to knock some of it down. I think I have another tube I might have to get into instead of using this one, because it's going to keep doing that. So I'm going to put that one to the side and use, I'm going to start with what I've got, and then if I need more, I'll get more. I'm paranoid that I got paint all over my arm now that I can't see. That might be on the back side. Okay. I'm going to bring my 2 cups of water nearby, and you don't, let's see, need to wet my paintbrush just a little bit. You don't want your moon to be just straight white. I'm going to initially get some paint on here and go ahead and just paint the background just plain white, but I'm going to go over it with more of a tinted, kind of grayer color moon here in a second. And I'm going to kind of cover up my lines just a little bit too. But I do want to be able to see the lines. I want to kind of blur it out just a little bit. This will help cover it up a little. Okay, so then my first layer is just going to be plain old white. And then I'm just going to dip the tip of my brush in the black and get some more white. And you just want a really, really light gray look to your moon. I'm doing this while the paint is still wet, makes it helpful. And I'm going to get a little bit more. And maybe just a touch bit more of that black. See, a lot of black goes a long way. I think I got a little too much black on that. But that's okay. I can go back over it, the whole thing, with white when it's dried some. And that's what I did, I think, when I did the first one. I got it a little darker than what I wanted, but then I went back with just white on top of it later to kind of make it less dark. And it kind of gave it a neat effect. Okay, so kind of have a light colored moon starting with there. Now, whenever we do the sky, we're going to start with a really, really dark color and then transition into a lighter color as we get closer to the moon. It's kind of harder to see on this one, but it's really dark here, but then you get lighter and lighter and lighter until you get to the moon. So we're going to grab some of this black. Probably shouldn't have grabbed it with my paintbrush, but we're going to use a lot of, I'm probably going to get some more white here in a minute, but I want to mix this one first to get me that's not very dark. Actually, I'm going to get the palette knife to scrape some of this off and get a little bit more black. I should be mixing it with my palette knife, and so it wouldn't all end up on my paintbrush. But that's not as dark as I want it, so I'm going to grab some more. And I'll definitely need to get more white paint, because I'll start with a darker color and then slowly start adding the white to it to make it lighter as I get closer to the moon. I think it's getting, you don't want it almost black, because we're going to be putting the trunk of the tree in there, and you want the trunk of the tree to show up. Let's see. I think I'd like it a little bit darker. I'm using way more black than what I anticipated.